Okay, so we're back for part 2 of Guru's rants. I hope you enjoy these, and if you like them, please click subscribe. Please give it a like. If you don't like them, okay, whatever. Go watch somebody else's YouTube channels about Silat, about energy, about Serak, about all the many things that I do. I'm a martial artist, a musician, a professional sound engineer, and I've been doing Qigong for many, many years since I was a teenager. So anyhow, back to what we were talking about the Jurus and internal training, particularly from the Thouars, Serak Dalam. I never got the chance to train with Pak Vic, but I train under Uncle Willem de Thouars. He's been a mentor, a teacher, and like a father to me since I was 19. And I also got to train with senior students of Pendekar Paul de Thouars, Guru Cliff Stewart, may he rest in peace. He recently passed away. My condolences to his family and his students. I also got to train with Guru Stephen Plink, Mahaguru Stephen Plink. And one thing I learned from them was how Pendekar Paul did his training. And one thing I've learned from Uncle Willem, who's my Babak Willem, is like father, I call him father, is how he does his internal training and how he was taught his internal training from various arts, not just Serak, but also from the Chinese arts, and also from in Indonesia they have what's called Sehat. Sehat is like energy practices, like Tenaga Dalam, and it's very similar to like Tai Chi and Qigong and things like this. But anyhow, my point with this was Guru Cliff one time told me that Pendekar Paul de Thouars showed him a way to do the Jurus and to use breathing to make his body very strong. And Guru Cliff explained it to me that when he touched Pendekar Paul's arms and when they would do application, it felt like iron. Even when he was older, even when he was a little bit with health issues, he was still very strong. Another friend of mine who trained with Uncle Maurice de Thouars said that Uncle Maurice had a very like a Tai Chi feeling to how he trained, and there was a very absorbing and then fortifying power in his hands and his arms, and that it reminded him of Tai Chi masters that he's trained with, like who did Chen Tai Chi or Yang style Tai Chi. And from Uncle Willem, the feeling is like iron, like it's really hard, or it can be very soft, and then in the moment it hits, it's like electricity, or it's like a shock. It can burn you, okay? And it's very common. I've seen that with my Harimau Minangkabau teacher. When he hits you, it's like it strikes a match, and it feels like it's on fire for a while. So all of these methods are built by doing the Jurus or the breathing exercises inside of the Silat systems. So a lot of them have these breathing methods, but they usually don't talk about it, or they keep it secret, especially to Westerners. And in Indonesia, unless you're Muslim or Sufi, or unless you're adopted by the family, they won't teach you these things, right? And then in some cases, like I told you before in other videos, you have Silat systems that are like Vedic and Buddhist, and you find those in Bali. You have Silat systems in Java and in Sumatra that are Muslim families, and they keep it very pretty much to only Muslims. They do open up to foreigners, and then you have Silat systems like my teacher Babak Willem de Thouars and like the Serak family, where it's not religious based at all. It's just based on the old traditions from Indonesia, which go back to what's called Buhun. Buhun is like the shamanism or Kejawan, and it's more shamanistic and more based on the energy and the 5 elements, and based on natural or nature, okay, like similar to Taoist. So Uncle Willem has a lot of practices that are, some of them are Taoist, and some of them are ancient Indonesian practices like Kejawan that go back to the Tenaga Dalam and the Ilmu and things like that. So when a Juru is done, the energy is built over time by doing the Jurus with a specific type of breathing. Every system has a different way to breathe, a different way to focus the energy while you're performing the juru. One of the methods that we use, and it's very dangerous if you don't know how to do it, so be careful please, and don't try to do this off of this video. I would recommend you either go train with Uncle Willem de Thouars, or come train with me or with one of his instructors that knows the way Uncle does the Serak Dalam. It's very similar to swimming underwater. And you know, when you swim underwater, you have to hold your breath and then you have to release. If you suffer from high blood pressure or you have any kind of cardiac issues, don't do it, because it's very dangerous. You have to also know to train yang exercises and then yin exercises. What does that mean? There's things that are forceful, which are yang, and then there's things that are yin, and then there's things that are together, yin and yang, where you do both hard and soft at the same time, or in combination. So if I do one hard thing, then I do one soft thing. If I train hard for a week, the next week I train soft. And so there's a way to balance the energy in the body when you build this up. It's very similar to what you find in the Chinese arts of iron shirt, and the same thing in karate when they're doing I forget the name of the kata, sanchin kata, where it's like, you know, and it's very strong and they're strengthening everything. I don't know how the karateka does it, but I'm just, based on what I've seen, it's similar. Silat has this, and the Kuntao practices have this, and one of the effects is that the hands will get hot, and eventually they get hot on command. And so when the Silat practitioner or the Kuntao player is playing, even if he touches lightly, he can bruise the other person. So it's very dangerous, but it's also very good for healing, for massage. And this is trained from doing the forms, but doing the forms correctly with the proper alignment, the proper structure, the proper focus, and the proper breathing. Anyhow, that is in Serak, although it's been kept hidden and a lot of people have never seen it, but it's very much part of the training. Some people will see it and go, oh, it's not an internal art. They don't know what they're talking about. So my advice is, if you have the chance, please go see Uncle Willem de Thouars. He's still alive and he's still very strong and very much training. Or come see any of us that are students under him and we'll gladly show you. Or